And that's why I want to tell you guys. So we're going to be streaming into the early hours of the start of my birthday, and we'll be streaming tomorrow night, the second day of the OSC Championship bracket. We'll be streaming the exit of my birthday as well. We will watch me become 23 years and 1 day old tomorrow night. How exciting will that be? Very exciting. Guys, we're going to kick this off. It's time to go. Thank you for your patience during the initial stages of this, trying to set up and get set to rumble. As we have to the top right-hand side of the map, the blue Zerg player. It is none other than Bly. And down to the bottom right-hand side, the red Zerg player from Euronix Gaming. Let's hear it for Nerchio. As we set on up game 1 of this best of 5 series, and already Bly is doing what Bly does best. Early gas, early pool is going to be his start-up build in the early stages of game number 1. Hatchery first on the way right now from Nerchio, as it is Whirlwind, which is the one map in this map pool which has 4 spawning locations. And so with 4 spawning locations, it is going to add a little bit of randomness to the early scout. For example, Bly will scout his opponent's first location. He checks. Nerchio will not get that Overlord up there until quite later on. Quite a lot later on. So Overlord going to continue running on up. We're going to see what happens. Arjun. Okay, it's just Arjun. Or it is meant to be a J then, I imagine. Arjun. Thank you very much for subscribing. Glad that I finally get to know your name properly. Sometimes people sub and I'm like, oh man, I don't know where exactly to go with your name, and then they just never reply, and I'm like, did I scare them off? Did I say their name so badly that they never want to talk again? Like instant unsub, they like instantly regret that $5, like worst $5 of their life. Why did they do that? Maybe. Thank you very much for the sub, dude. Appreciate it. As he says, really enjoy the cast. Well, no problem. Glad you enjoy. And thank you for the support, as we see these Zerglings going to be gathering up together right now from Bly. Going to be getting ready to go. Link speed is over halfway done. He starts up a hatchery. The thing is, Nerchio's about to arrive up here, and he will see how late that hatch is. Problem is, he's going to see it just about the same time the Lings come into the natural, so it's not as though Nerchio has much of a chance to change much up right here. So he starts to spine instantly. That will be just here. It's actually in a nice position where it can't be completely fully surrounded due to the hatchery and the spawning pool helping to block it off, as these Lings still just looking around, still just looking to see what else is going on. Starting to nibble their way through this hatchery, and a few more Lings on the way up. Ling speed starting up once again as well. And I'm just going to be seeing Bly actually going to catch a few Lings of Nerchio on the low ground, and that's a mistake by Nerchio. He shouldn't let that happen, and that's going to be Bly. Well, he probably will get this hatchery in all honesty. It's already so low, and with more Lings continuing to come across the map, it's just kind of inevitable that it's going to go down. I think this Queen will get surrounded. I mean, best possible situation for Nerchio here was that he did get so much done with it because he got it into that little gap here. Now this Queen's on its own as well. Spine's going to come down to the low ground too, but is he even going to be able to burrow? I don't think so. Gets blocked now. Will start to burrow. Will the Lings just go after it? No, they continue for the hatchery, and they are going to be able to pick that off, then just back away. And now Bly can just drone up quite happily behind this, knowing he's already got his own hatchery. And then he just pulls away from his Broodlings. I wonder if he actually just goes in and just runs by the Spinecrawler. There's nothing to block on that ramp, of course. And so here we go. He wraps around, and, well, a couple of Lings going down. He's actually just going to fight the Spinecrawler. Never mind running past. Bly says, well, why run past if I can just kill it anyways? He's going to kill off everything here, and Nerchio just does not have to start. He wants GG. Bly takes game number 1. It's... I don't know. It's so frustrating as well. I really need to find a way to fix this, but I actually don't know what I can do apart from change my internet, which basically for me would involve just not casting from here. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I think when I actually have to cast like European-based events, I'm probably just going to have to cast from home instead of my office, because it's just not going to work out casting from here if I can't join events like qualifiers and stuff. If I just can't join games. It's okay when I can host the games myself, which is fine for like events I run and stuff like that. And certain events, you know, certain other events in general, if I can host the game, that's fine. But if I can't host the game, like for qualifiers, that happens a lot. It just means I won't be able to cast anything, so it's really, really silly. Anyways, the bottom left-hand side, our blue Zerg player is Bly, who is 1-0 up in this best of 5 series and going to be changing up his build right from the get-go here now in game 2, opening up with the hatchery first, right here on Daybreak. To the top right-hand side, the red Zerg player once again going to open hatchery first, so going for the same thing he went for in the last game, going hatch gas pool. Euronix Gaming's Nerchio, as he sets on up and looks to see how things will go for him in this second game. Hopefully looking to tie things up. Would be nice if we got our first series of the day to start going a little bit of the distance, start really kind of, you know, pushing through and bringing us some great games, you know. So hopefully this is going to be pretty interesting as we start up and look to see what will happen. Thank you very much, Black Exo Red. I know we've had this discussion before, by the way, about your name. I was just talking about Twitch names just before, maybe just before you joined, maybe it was just as you joined. And I'm sure we've had this discussion about your name as well, but it was so long ago. And I actually remember that with your name, it was something that I just couldn't get my mind around anyway in the end. I just couldn't get there. It was just one of those things. I was just like, nope, there's no way I can figure this out. I'm stuck. And I just sort of gave up. So thank you for the donation. I'll read out your message in just a few minutes after this game, actually. And thank you very much, Lord Akium, for subscribing as well. Boom, boys, back to 180 subs. The 180 sub battle is real. Like, we're not letting it beat us. We're like, hey, we're not going below 180. You know, as soon as we drop down a couple, you guys bounce back. You, like, punch it in the face. Like, no, sub counter. You stay right where you are right now. Thank you so much for the support, guys. Appreciate it. As we do focus up a little bit on this game right here. Let's see how things will continue. A few drones going to mine away in the natural expansion. Link speed on the way up, coming up to being about halfway done. Gas has been pulled out of by Nerchio, but Bly will continue to mine gas, meaning that he's got a lot of potential to go into, well, probably roaches, putting his third hatchery down right now. Nerchio's third hatch is actually way earlier, so it's actually a bit of a different build from Nerchio than what I originally thought. He's, well, yeah, I mean, it's just a super fast third hatchery, so I didn't really recognize that, but Bly going into third hatch as well, and we'll see if there's going to be a lot of Ling-based pressure from either player. And without a Baneling Nest at this point from Bly, you would imagine he's probably just going to set down a Roach Warren at some point. Nerchio, well, he's only just getting the gas now to put down a Bane Nest, so he could go for Banelings. In fact, he very well may, just to make sure he's very safe while taking and establishing his third base, right? So, we'll see what happens as we're going to be seeing this third hatchery. Bly just over halfway done, and Nerchio just spamming out a few Lings right now. Currently is about 4 workers ahead, so he doesn't have an army supply lead, and interestingly enough, players are going to go around different directions with these Zerglings, so both players are going to hit in. Now they're actually going to go for different targets. Nerchio, he goes for the third base, whereas Bly comes straight into the natural expansion. Nerchio's got Lings on the way out, about a pop. Nerchio is, Bly actually doesn't have very many Lings on the way out at all, so this is actually looking very good for Nerchio, because Nerchio should clean this up quite easily, whereas I don't think Bly will, just because of the lack of Zerglings he has on the way. So you'll see Nerchio, he starts to clean this up now, and he's already lost 12 workers, but he's killed 5, and he's going to kill so many more, because he still has this attack going. Starts to target down this queen once more, and now some drones will go down as well, and he should at least take a worker lead in this. He only needs a couple workers to get that far along. We're going to be seeing some drones going down. 8 workers killed in total for Nerchio. He's going to get up to, well, maybe not too much further past 8. He gets to 10. Oh, yeah, he is. He's got so many more Zerglings still over here. Nerchio doing so much. He's got more Lings coming across the map, and that right there will be GG. Nerchio takes game number 2. Bly starts up to the top side of the map. He's going to be the blue Zerg player. To the northern side here of Varney Research Station. Was in the lead. Drops that down a little bit just now, as it's now 1 game apiece, and both players are going to open with the early gas. Nerchio going to mimic Bly here down to the south side. He's the red Zerg player from Euronix Gaming. And a gas pool from both. Well, isn't this interesting? This is going to be really, really intriguing to see how it turns out, honestly. We'll see that extractor just coming on in. The thing is, Bly, he plays this so much, and so, you know, you've got to imagine that he has a very good idea as to what the best thing to do against this is, right? And so, Nerchio, is he just at a disadvantage because of that? Well, maybe. I mean, at the same time, sure, Nerchio has done it enough times as well to know the right decisions and all the rest too. So let's see how this goes. For now, they are completely mimicking each other. 14 drones apiece, waiting for this Overlord to finish up. Spawning pool about a pop, and both of them with Link speed ready to go. And actually, both of them just saving lava right now for the Zerglings. Just not want to waste any of that on a drone at that point. 2 Lings and 1 Queen on the way for each. Now Link speed will start up. Again, exactly the same bar. About what, like a 1 second difference on everything for Bly, maybe? Very, very similar game. Like, very, very close at this point. And, I mean, we are only in the first couple of minutes, but already a little bit interesting, as you're going to be seeing. Well, Overlords, they do pass by each other. Obviously, that doesn't give either of them too much information just yet. You can see that Overlord from Nerchio moving over to the left-hand side. Going to be seeing the Bane Nest on the way up here, just behind the mineral line as well, so Bane Nest coming on in. And a few more of these Zerglings still collecting over to the right. Going down the right-hand side to see what else is happening. So moving down here, going to take the watchtower for a few moments. Actually, a lot of Zerglings from Nerchio going to be gathered up here. That's 8 of them at this point, and it's kind of weird because they're both bypassing each other, and I don't think either of them have seen the other one's lings just yet. Now Nerchio sees a couple of lings of Bly, and well, he has started up a hatchery, Nerchio, whereas Bly, he's gone for a different approach to this. He continued to mine gas, and so he will get some banelings up here, whereas Nerchio will just focus on purely Zerglings and continuing past the one base play. As he moves up this ramp, has to be careful of some Banes already morphing in defensively. You will see them as the skirmish begins, and now he just backs away. I mean, it's the right choice. Why are you fighting there? He can't, actually. In all honesty, as he's going to start up the spine crawl. I mean, that's going to be his advantage, obviously. If he's in this position where he is mining more minerals than his opponent, he can afford a spine crawler where Bly might not be able to. The fact his hatchery's already down is actually crazy, because that's 300 minerals, which at some point Bly has to find to expand with, and which Nerchio is already invested into. So that looks very good for Nerchio in that regard. And there's going to be seeing a few of these lings from Nerchio. Going to run over to the right and see what else might happen. Bly will come in and surround a couple of Zerglings as well. And Nerchio just gathering everything up together as he will look to turn and fight here. I mean, Bly's not really getting an opportunity to bring any Banelings into the equation, though. The 2 Banes he morphed in at home have stayed at home. And so Bly not really making any progress. He's drawn up a little bit here and then. He does maintain a 2-worker lead at this point of the game. However, he's maintaining a 2-worker lead against Nerchio's extra base, and that's not really going to make the difference. In fact, Nerchio going to take a lead right now with his own workers, and well, now Bly is set, saving up for that hatchery. That's where the difference comes in, as Bly has to save for the hatchery. Nerchio continued to drone, and so for a longer period of time, Nerchio is going to end up on a few more workers, and that's definitely going to benefit him here throughout the game. So little bits and pieces, and say Nerchio is definitely getting into a better spot overall. Another queen on the way up. So he's going to be on 3 queens in total already. He's getting into a really nice, solid position in the early stages, as we're just going to be seeing the spine. At the front, an evolution chamber will be dropped down as well at the wall. Help to just block off here a little bit, and I guess he's, with this evo chamber, well, there's a lot of possibilities. We could see a carapace upgrade, which would allow the lings to obviously trade a little bit better initially, and then transition into the roaches with an upgrade already on them as well. So that's our first possibility. Outside of that, a melee upgrade could come down too. I don't think it's going to be a fast missile upgrade, because that doesn't make any sense at all without a lair on the way for roach speed, and without a roach roaring down either. But there it is, actually. +1 missiles will be on the way. Interesting then. So without a lair, that does kind of intrigue me, because it means he won't have roach speed for a while to utilize with this +1 missiles, but he wants to invest into it to try and get a leadness. So it is interesting. A little bit different to what I expected. We're going to be seeing both those Zerglings getting taken down there by the drones. Bly going into the lair, not really looking to put down any evo chambers or roach roar or anything, and if he doesn't put down any of those soon, it will look to be a middleless play from Bly. He's only on 2 gases for now, but he's already got a lot of gas in the bank from gas he was mining that he wanted to use on Banelings, I suppose, but never actually got to use. So I imagine this will be a Spire and a 3rd and a 4th gas coming in, and Bly will look to play middleless here in game number 3 of the series, as he looks to try and take it to match point against Nerchio. Spire drops down. There's the roach round from Nerchio, his own lair starting up. You see what I mean, though. I guess it will line up quite nicely for him to start +2. I guess the thing is here from Nerchio is just never intending to go for the initial +1 roach speed based attack, because he's just not going to find that here, and just instead look for a bit of a later attack. Roach speed will probably line up with +2. I guess +2 will finish a bit after roach speed. So it's going to be seeing these lings and banes on the way down, and again, just for now, Nerchio not really able to pick up too much information. He sees the lair, and I guess, I mean, when did he see the lair? Like, how long ago was that? I mean, it couldn't have been too long ago. It can mean anything right now. That's the problem for Nerchio. He doesn't exactly know what that means. A little bit of a scout around. I guess it's just a ling. Not seeing the Spire, though, so unsure about that, as he still maintains a little bit of map presence here. Group of Zerglings going to stay to the left-hand side of the map. And we've seen the creep tumors starting to push on out as well, as these 2 queens from Nerchio starting to target down that first Overlord. So Overlord is going to be falling here. As that Overlord falls, we'll just be seeing Nerchio pulling back with his couple of queens. These Zerglings are Bly pulling back down towards the bottom left-hand side as well. And everything's just going to be starting to join up together. In fact, a lot of roaches from Nerchio coming out, and the fact they already have +1 does mean he can 2-shot those Zerglings, and he will start to push across the map. So Nerchio feels as though he does have an aggressive opportunity here. It will take him a while to cross due to the lack of roach speed. You're going to see these lings going to run up the ramp, and well, a couple of banes going to go off, cleaning up those lings very, very quickly. The thing is with these roaches is they're so committed, They are going to die to the middleists. That's just a straight up be all and end all of it. So they're going to die. How much damage can they get done before they die? This queen's actually attacking her own creep tumor as these first few roaches start to move on in. The first couple of meters are out, 7 more currently being produced. And the first 2 meters, well, they won't do a lot of damage themselves. And I guess for Blythe, there's actually just nothing on the ground at all. Without nothing on the ground at all, I mean, Mutas will get rid of these roaches, but not super quickly. And so he doesn't have anything to buy any time, and so a lot of drones will fall. And Nerchio is already maybe getting enough damage done to justify throwing these roaches at Blythe's base into the jaws of those Mutalisks, as we're going to be seeing 20 workers killed, and other Lings do go down the natural expansion. He was targeting the lair in the main base, which turns out to maybe have not been the best idea, unless he's still going to clean this up. And actually, he keeps on targeting it down, gets very close, and he will pick it off with only 4 roaches left standing. So he picks off the lair. I mean, the lair itself isn't really a big loss. It's more so just the fact he doesn't have this base to mine from. Then again, the fact that he doesn't have that base to mine from, does that matter? Because at the same time, there is not enough drones to kind of actually saturate more than 2 bases. So that's kind of crazy. As you're going to be seeing these Lings coming down the left. Blythe looking to have a little bit, well, having a little bit of a look to see what might happen. Queen's gathering up on the 3rd base right now. Well, this is just looking fantastic right here, as we're going to be seeing. And we're just trying to move forward. We're going to see Lings just going to counterattack across the map, and Nerchio just has everything planned out right now. Just always seems to know what he wants to do next. His hatchery is going to fall. We're going to see Queens just transfusing each other up, keeping each other alive back here. Getting rid of the Lings, and Blythe knows he can only GG out of this position. Okay. But through the groups, 18 players have been eliminated already, and that brings us to this point where we have, well, kind of 32 players left, and that is the championship bracket now. So those 18 players have already left. I think the first bottom 18 ended with $50 apiece. So again, every round you advance at this point now is more or less a little bit of extra cash in your pocket at the point of elimination, with $2,000 to be won as that grand prize, first place in the overall event. To the bottom right hand side, the blue Zerg player is going to be Blythe. He opens up with the hatchery and the gas, and soon to be the pool here on Echo, map number 4 of this series. Whereas to the upper left hand side, it's the red Zerg player. It is going to be a gas pool early on from Euronics Gaming, Nerchio. And this is a question I expect to answer a lot tonight. The winter that Neeb will play later today is from Sweden. He has been on My Insanity in the past, currently part of 1F Pro Gaming, and actually currently living in Japan. So he will be playing against Neeb later tonight in that final best of 5 for us here on our stream. So look forward to that. As we have a long way to go until then, though. There's 5 best of 5s between this best of 5 and that one. So we have got a lot of StarCraft to bring you guys until that is ready for your screen. So you better just keep on preparing for that a little bit longer, as we see these Lings from Nerchio. Well, they're going to start moving out on the map, collecting together for a little while. Blythe not going to see this at all of this. Overlord not going to see anything until pretty late. He's moving forward to try and see the creep spread. Problem is, by the time he gets there, he's still not going to see creep spread. And that's when he's going to realize that this is a later hatchery, and that Nerchio is starting to be a little bit aggressive against Blythe right now. So these Zerglings going to be moving down towards the lower right here, and, well, 6 more of them on the way up. For now, he will just gather the rest of them in the main base, because he doesn't want to reveal this until he has to. And that is probably going to be about now, as his opponent sees the natural hatchery. He can probably start moving across the map, but may as well wait for Ling speed anyways. He's actually going to grab the first couple of Lings if he would like to. Blythe starts to pull those back. His drones on the low ground will be pulled in to try and help the Queen. I mean, any little bit of extra damage you can get at this point is going to help, as both of those drones will fall. The Lings on the low ground fall, and so does the Queen. Just get an inject off just before it dies, which is nice. I mean, that's a nice little addition, as Nerchio will stay on this low ground. Will start to work his way through that natural hatchery. That's those 2 Lings get up to the high ground here. As Blythe currently just waiting for his Ling speed. Nerchio loses 1 Ling trying to go up the ramp. Queen moving forwards as well. Looks as though it might try and hold position on the ramp. Actually, Nerchio gets in there ahead of time. And already Blythe looking to be in a lot of trouble here in game 4. Queen goes down. Zerglings have continued to fall. And this really looks as though it just might be over right here. Drones get pulled to join the fight against these Zerglings, and Blythe, can he hold on? 4 workers lost, now 8, and it's just still getting lower and lower. He didn't see this coming, and it's been a very aggressive series between these players. Multiple games going to very early gas pools, and, well, this is going to be another of those, and this one is going to end here in just a few moments, as Nerchio doesn't even need reinforcements. He has way too much, and, well, maybe Blythe shuts this down eventually, but the problem is he's already lost all but 1 drone. There's 1 drone left on the map. I don't even know where it is. And that's going to be GG being called. Nerchio takes game number 4.